Anthony Joshua destroys Ngannou. In this Flow of the Fight film study, we're going to be taking a look at how we got to that point in the fight. Now, if you guys enjoy film studies, check out my Patreon. It's got a 7-day free trial. We're going to be watching the Zhang fight, the Madrimov fight. We're going to be watching this fight. We're watching tons of Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney and tons of boxing and all the biggest fights and all the biggest breakdowns and all that great stuff. So, first thing that happens in this fight, Anthony Joshua gets to the line, gets a little bit of control with his feints, and then throws a jab to the body, and immediately gets smacked in the face by a left hook from Ngannou. A really, really good shot, and Ngannou showing that he's got really good timing and really good control of the line with his left hand here, which is going to be very, very, very important for the course of the entire fight. But one thing that Ngannou is not really anticipating in this fight is there's just not that many breaks fighting Anthony Joshua. As he gets to the line, feints him, and we take a look at the very small, kind of subtle feinting from Anthony Joshua and the very, very, very large and overreactions from Ngannou. It plays a huge part in the fight, and in spite of the fact that Joshua, and again, goes to the body after all the feints, still eats a left hook. Again, Ngannou doing a very, very good job in the beginning of the fight, controlling the line with the left hook. And we're going to be talking about that and how important that is to the fight. But again, feinting, the very, very small feints. He's not fighting Tyson Fury, who was fat and out of shape and who was also more than happy to have a lot of breaks, right? Fighting Anthony Joshua when he gets to the line, fighting a real boxer, right? Again, it's so much different when the guy you're fighting is actually in shape. Ngannou used a lot of energy, okay, trying to defend his line, trying to attack Joshua. And Joshua saw that he was getting kind of smacked by those hooks, now feinting it, drawing that attack out from Ngannou. And look at Ngannou try to reset here. He tries to bounce and get a little bit of like, oh, what's going on? And get a little bit of rhythm because he just missed a big shot. It's a very common thing, in MMA. I'm not trying to call MMA people up, but they'll take lots of breaks as well. They both do, and they have 5-round fights. This isn't that. You don't have that 5-round pace where if you catch a guy and he ties you up in boxing, it kind of ends the sequence, right? But in MMA, you catch a guy and then he ties you up, you just slam him on his head and you win the fight. And it changes the dynamic to such a degree that there's not a lot of time, right? People don't feel comfortable. Oh, I'll just wait till I hurt him, right? You don't have 25 minutes. You have to put a lot of pressure on the line. You got to give a lot of feints. You got to give the guy a lot of looks. Now, very, very, very important. As Ngannou comes forward, I just want you guys to pay attention to his weight as he's back. He rocks back, and now he's going to start rocking forward, and he takes a step. Look at Anthony Joshua's glove. He's kind of catching and parrying that shot, and you can see that he's aware of where Ngannou's glove is and where his weight is and how fast it's getting to the line. And this plays a very, very, very important idea for the rest of the fight. And again, getting to the line, you see him stepping forward, and Joshua ready to parry that jab. Okay, it's very, very, very important, especially because in the next clip, Joshua actually gets smacked trying to parry that shot. Okay, so very, very good offense here from Ngannou, actually finding an opportunity to land some offense. But I want you to pay attention to Anthony Joshua's already ready for that right hand. Okay, he kind of beat Ngannou to the position. Ngannou is still trying to recover from throwing his own punch. Okay, now just caught Anthony Joshua coming to the line. Anthony Joshua is going to come to the line, throw that jab to the body again, and get smacked again by Ngannou. Ngannou, again, on first contact so far, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. But again, in boxing, you got to hit a guy. You got to hit a guy when they're in shape, when they're strong, and all that stuff. You got to hit a guy a few times to really hurt him. Now, again, Ngannou with that very, very, very obvious weight getting to the line. Joshua picking it off, right? He's ready to pick that shot off. Ngannou slip into the front foot a little bit so he can get his weight there, stepping with this jab. And again, it kind of gets picked off. Again, Joshua is very easily reading this, okay, and parrying this shot. And Ngannou just using a lot of energy to kind of stomp in there with his big, heavy jabs. Now, Joshua goes forward. Take a look at how he's throwing this jab to the gloves of Ngannou. He's not even getting in range, and Ngannou is going to try to start countering those, right? Trying to start countering on that range. Not very effective, not very, he's a little too far. And Joshua trying to counter off that great parry-ish thing from Ngannou, right? Joshua didn't really get to throw the shot; it kind of got smothered. And then again, another little hook from Ngannou that's blocked. But again, all this energy, all this, a lot of work from Ngannou to defend his line from very, very, very small stuff. And again, look at Ngannou kind of fall off balance. Again, a lot of weight, a lot of, effort into that, and a lot of very, very small, subtle stuff from Joshua. Now, as Joshua starts pivoting on the front foot, Ngannou jumps on his line and blasts him. Okay, again, it's been a lot of work for Joshua to be on the line with Francis Ngannou, or for Ngannou to be on the line with Francis Ngannou to be on the line with Joshua. And I think Joshua at this point, or Ngannou at this point, is kind of tiring. Okay, now checks the line again, jumps on the line again, two very, very hard snaps in a row, jumped on the line with a stepping shot to control him, and then a second attack. And then for some reason, I think because Ngannou didn't want to continue attacking the line with his left hand, he didn't want to continue throwing the left hook. He didn't want to continue. I don't know if he was feeling like he was getting he was about to get timed, or he was getting tired. I assume that it was tired, but Joshua's going to jump on his line here, control with the lead hand, and then jump on the line and throw an immediate 1-2. Now, Ngannou doesn't counter, he doesn't smack him with the hook, and he doesn't discourage Anthony Joshua in the slightest. So Joshua's going to, again, meet him back on the line while they're southpaw. Look at him give him this tiny little feint here. Look at the reaction from Ngannou. Again, no counters this time. Instead of it being a punch, it's just a post. He just tries to control that lead hand with like a little parry, right? And doesn't move his head after, okay? This is a very, very, very amateur thing. Again, at a high level, people are used to multiple snaps. Now, again, Joshua jumps down. Hey, what do you think about this? Ngannou doesn't really move his head. He's ready to catch the lead hand. He's doing a good job of interacting with the lead hand of Joshua, but again, not really, really interacting with not moving his head after. And again, Joshua just meeting him on the line. And this is the first knockdown. He's going to jump on the line. Again, great control from the lead hand from Ngannou. But then again, Joshua jumps in, controls. And Ngannou doesn't move his head. He doesn't throw a hook. He doesn't throw a rear hand. And Joshua was able to just step on his line and smash him and drop him. And again, Ngannou was having a pretty good round in the first round until he switched southpaw. It was really, really obvious, you know. Now, he jumps on the line, throws the right hand. This is right after he hurts him, and Ngannou immediately smacks him with the left hook. Again, Ngannou much, much, much better controlling the line with the left hand than he was with the right hand, as we saw it just being a post or a frame, or just trying to control the lead hand with a parry. And in this sequence here, he's able to get off several punches while Joshua's scrambling. Again, caught him again. Great showing from Ngannou while he's in the orthodox stance, but so much energy from Ngannou. Okay, a lot of work. And again, watch Joshua at the beginning of the second round. He's like, okay, let's just keep our distance. Let's tire this man out. He's shooting the jab purposely at the rear hand here and making Ngannou tire himself out again. Very, very, very small feints and very, very, very wide punches from Ngannou. And again, Fury was fat and out of shape. He just didn't have the energy to kind of have the same kind of pace, right? Now, jumps on the line with the double jab, and again, we can clearly see that he's stepping forward and that Joshua has his rhythm, has his timing. He sees the weight coming, and that Ngannou's not really hiding anything. However, he knows that he can't just sit back and let Joshua pick off body shots, time him, wear him out, and force him to do that. So Ngannou starts trying to get offensive of his own, right? Now, again, coming forward, when Joshua goes forward on his own, eats a hook, right? Goes forward again, eats a hook. Very, very, very interesting strategy because Ngannou, if he just let Joshua come to him, I do think that he had an advantage, you know. Anthony Joshua is one of those guys that basically also only controls the line with the left hand coming forward, only throwing the, as we saw here, not very many lead right hands from either of these guys. And that's one of the most interesting things about this fight is because Ngannou was also interacting with Anthony Joshua's jabs perfectly throughout the whole fight, almost. almost, right? Catching them, parrying them, countering with his own left hook, right? Now, as we see here, Ngannou gets his way to the front foot, back foot, and as he comes forward, he takes this little step here. And watch Anthony Joshua slip his head under the jab that doesn't comes with his own jab to the body. He sees that it's safe. He sees that Ngannou didn't throw a shot, and he snaps with the right hand here, right? Now, Anthony Joshua was kind of waiting for Francis Ngannou. This is really important. Watch Francis Ngannou pendulum here, right? And he's going to take a step on that front foot, feint, right? And watch Joshua take this little small little boom, right? He's ready once he sees Francis Ngannou bring his weight to the line and feint him, right? And we can see that very, very clearly that Joshua by now is ready. Instead of just parrying the jab, he's ready to start pull countering it, okay? Now, it does take him a second to get Francis Ngannou to throw the jab again. He has to throw a couple jabs at him. But here we go. Steps on the line with that stepping jab again, makes it very obvious. And he tries to throw another left hand. He tries to re-pendulum again. And Anthony Joshua cracks him, hits him with a wallop of a shot. And again, that's one of those things that bad boxers or beginner boxers do all the time is they're always stepping with their jabs. Devin Haney. And it's a huge problem. Now, watch Anthony Joshua bring his weight to the front foot here and then to the back foot. And then he starts bringing his weight to the front foot. And as we see on that timing, Francis Ngannou tries to throw a jab at him, a stepping jab and control space while he brought his weight to the front foot. But Anthony Joshua is just too quick. It's too fast for Francis Ngannou to feel like he's going to be able to throw that right hand and hit Anthony Joshua. And it takes so much energy for him to try because he's such a big guy. He's not really a boxer. He doesn't really train like a boxer. He probably still trains like an MMA guy because everyone assumed he had so much success against fat Tyson Fury, who was not in shape to be a boxer, right? But it seems pretty clear that Francis Ngannou was tiring in the first round because it takes a lot of energy to move like this, to do all that stuff. It's easy for a guy who's a boxer and fat and out of shape to do and go, I'll say with a big, strong guy who's not a boxer, 1-for-1, And again, so many people think that Tyson Fury lost the fight to Francis Ngannou. Again, jabbing at the gloves, trying to get reactions from Francis Ngannou, not even looking to fight him, right? Getting Francis Ngannou to tire himself out, right? Force him to use energy. If he can make these things less effective, and again, I don't think it's a good strategy for I didn't think it was a good strategy for Francis Ngannou to chase Anthony Joshua around. Like I talked about in the pre-fight video, that's what Andy Ruiz tried to do in the second fight. And what happened to him? He threw some jabs at Anthony Joshua. And what did Anthony Joshua do? He pull countered them. Eventually, he found the perfect timing, was able to get under one of those jabs, right? Instead of on that timing catching it, he pulls down, he gets his weight to the ground. Again, you want to create a great base. You're going to get your weight down to the ground and create a 2-foot punching structure. If you guys want to learn more about generating power and the correct structure, everything you're supposed to do with your feet, right down from your feet to your knees, to your entire body, to your hands, to your shoulders, to your head. If you want to learn everything that you're supposed to be doing with every part of your body so that you can generate power to get under shots, down, up into shots like this and drive your weight. Again, 2-foot punching revolves around generating both of your feet from the ground up into your opponent. And again, Anthony Joshua doing a great job here of catching Ngannou with that shot using these types of mechanics, okay? Now, as we take a look, again, this is the final sequence. He gets up from that second knockdown and then he tries to post here with his left hand and throwing a left hook. He's just a little bit too slow and gets kind of cracked. Anyway, it was, to be honest, it was a pretty good card. The Madrimal fight, I like seeing that guy beat people up. That's pretty fun. Parker beating Zhang was wild to me. I didn't see that coming. To me, Zhang is the best heavyweight in boxing, and he kind of got taken to school? No, I don't think so. I'm gonna rewatch that fight on Patreon if you guys want to check it out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make a YouTube video about it. I got a lot of other work to do. But we will be watching it on Patreon as well as the Madrimal fight, and then we'll be watching this fight, frame by frame on Patreon as well. So if you guys want to check it out, there's a 7-day free trial. Check it out. There are thousands of film studies on Patreon from the last few years, all original content, all my own theory, all my own language. And as you notice, it still sounds very similar to what a lot of people say. That's because a lot of people get their shit from me. So if you guys want to get that shit from the source and you guys want the best film studies, check out the Fouts Boxing Theory on patreon.com. And if you guys want frame by frame analysis of your own work, your own training, there's a $50 Patreon. It's $50 to sign up, $50 a month. And you can send in as much film as you want, as much training as you want, every day if you want, and I will help you become the fighter you want to be. Okay? Um, yeah. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and all that great stuff. And yeah.